everyone, my name is Christian, and if you are interested in applying to the Disney College program, hopefully this video will be of a resource to you. This is going to be my tips for the phone interview for the Disney College program. Let me just give you a brief review of the application process. So the first step is the actual application, and basically it just asks your basic information like your name, your previous job history, your education, that kind of thing. If you make it past the application, then you go straight to the web-based interview, which basically it's like a personality test. So it'll ask you questions like, I am always on time, strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree. After that, you reach the final step of the application process, which is also probably the most terrifying step of the process, and that is the phone interview. It's the first time you're talking to an actual person who works for Disney, and they are the person who is going to decide if they want you hired or not. So it's kind of scary. But no fear, because I thought I would make this video of personally my tips for acing that phone interview and for doing the very best that you can. So my tip number one for the phone interview is to do your research. There's a lot of resources about the Disney College program. A huge thing for your interview is to look up sample interview questions. That's what I did. I would read all these different blog posts, I would watch all these different videos on YouTube, and I would get a feel for what kind of questions they're gonna ask you during your interview. Now obviously, no, it's not gonna be completely scripted. It's not like they go through and ask you the same 10 questions. That's not how it works. But doing your research will help you be way, way, way more prepared when you have your interview. For example, some of the questions they might ask you are, tell me about a time you made a magical moment for a guest. Doing your research will help you to have those stories ready, so that way you're not thrown off when they ask you about a certain moment you made a magical moment or something like that. Also want to make sure that you do your research on the roles that you applied for. On the initial application, you're going to have to rank the roles in the Disney College program according to your preferences. If it's a role that you really want, like say for example, you really, really, really want to be a character attendant. Well, you want to make sure you do your research and know everything about that role, so that way when the recruiter asks you questions, you are able to show them why you deserve to be a character attendant. And you're able to show them that passion you have for that role, and it just shows you know the role and that you think you would qualify for it. It was so helpful to kind of have an idea of what kind of questions they would ask me in the interview. So do your research. My tip number two is, this kind of goes along with number one, but is to prepare. Prepare for your interview. One thing that was really helpful for me was my little sister did a few mock interviews with me. So she would pretend like she was the recruiter, and I gave her a list of questions that I felt they might would ask me on the phone. So I gave her the list and she would ask me the questions, and it was nice because I was able to practice that and get some of my nerves out before the actual interview. Even though it was my sister, it still helped because I was able to hear my answers, and I could hear if I was stuttering a lot or if I didn't sound confident in myself. So I definitely think mock interviews is a really good way to practice for the actual interview. And as well as doing those mock interviews, just preparing yourself. So like for me, some of the main things I thought they would ask me in an interview, like, why do you want to work for Disney? I made sure that I prepared a good answer for that. Preparing your answers for some of the bigger questions will carry you so much further, because remember, the college program is competitive. They only pick 3,000 to 5,000 people out of 50,000 plus pool. So by you preparing yourself, you are working hard to set yourself apart so that they will hire you versus these other 50,000 people. When I was applying for the college program, I made a little folder, and this just kind of helped organize all my things. I'm a teacher, so I mean, organization's my thing. Anyways, so I printed off of the Disney College program website. I printed all the roles, so I just had those printed so I could really look and read about each role and what to expect from that role. Then I made this handy dandy little page, and it says Disney roles, and I put what my high interest was, I put my moderate interest, my low interest, and the ones I had absolutely no interest in. I did this before the application, so that way once the applications dropped, I would be prepared, because I'm a nerd, guys, but it's fine. So that was what I did. Then I made different cards. So these were some of the cards that I made for my interview. So I made one that said smile, just so I would remember like make sure you're smiling. Be very Disney-fied. And then I wrote this one, you've wanted this forever. Like, I wanted to be, as I was on my interview, I had these cards in front of me so that I could be reminded, like, you want this. This has been your dream forever. And then I put, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because ultimately it was in Jesus's hands and I wanted his plan for me. So those were kind of some of the cards that I made, but then I also, these were like my encouraging cards, but then I also had cards that said, like, I listed all the different jobs I've had in my life and like skills I learned from them and how I could use those for Disney. So I think flashcards, I've seen other people in YouTube videos do that as well, and I just think that's really helpful. Or you could also do, you could type them up. Like, at first what I did is I just typed up paragraphs so I could get all my thoughts out there of, like, for example, one of the questions, talk about your busiest day at work. So I went ahead and prepared my busiest day at work, because when you're working at Disney, you're gonna have some busy days, and my interviewer did not ask me about that, but it was good that I was prepared just in case. So, another question, which this is actually a question they asked me in my interview. Would you prefer slow or fast-paced environments? So be ready for that. I don't know if they'll ask you, but from what I've heard, it's a very common question. So be prepared for that question. Tip. I just put together like a little folder, and it just kind of helped organize everything and prepare me for my interview. But like I said, I'm a nerd, so some of you guys can do this on the fly. That's awesome if you can. I am not one of those people. All right, now that brings me to my tip number 3. Show you deserve it. Now this kind of goes back to what I was saying about it being a very competitive program. And there's gonna be over 50,000 applicants, and not all of them make it to the phone interview stage. But still, even once you get to the phone interview stage, that does not mean that you're gonna get the job. So it's important that you show Disney, you show that recruiter on the phone why you deserve to work there. So make sure that you have passion and enthusiasm and you're smiling. Even though they can't see you smiling, you can tell when someone has a happier tone with their voice. Make sure you tell them if this has been your dream forever. Make sure you tell them that you're passionate about Disney, or maybe you want to pursue a career later with the Walt Disney Company. These are things you should make sure they know. Express how interested you are, and express how this will change your life, or this could help you with your career, or whatever your reason for doing the program will be. Make sure it's a good, solid answer and that it comes across in your phone interview, because you want your recruiter to see that passion. Because if you're not passionate and this isn't something you really want, you're just gonna toss your interview aside and choose a different applicant. You don't want that to happen. If this is really what you want to stand out and show them that Disney, they need me. That's the mindset you need to have, that they need you. So, little encouragement there. Tip number 4, ask questions. So at the very end of your interview, they're gonna be like, so do you have any questions for me? Make sure you have, I would say, between 1 and 3 prepared. I had 3 questions prepared. I can't remember now what my questions were. Oh, well, I do remember one of my questions. I said something like this. So Disney has been my dream forever, and you know, I would love the opportunity to be a cast member, but I was wondering, what kind of qualities are you really looking for in a cast member? Which, like, that probably sounds cliche, but my recruiter seemed to really like that. And on the phone, she was like, well, we're looking for someone very positive and very energetic and passionate, and those are all qualities that I can tell you have. And I was like, yes! Anyways, whatever. So have some questions prepared, because that shows you are prepared, and that shows you're really interested and like you care about this and you want to do everything you can to make sure this happens for you. I'll never forget, my recruiter's name was Patty. She was such a sweet little lady. So remember, if you can, I know you're gonna be really nervous, but when they answer the phone, try to remember their name, because using their name is gonna make it seem more like you have a relationship with them, and that shows you're listening. My last and final tip for you is to be 100% yourself and let your magic shine. Obviously, if you're applying for the college program, there's that Disney magic inside of you. Let your recruiter see that. If you hold that back, you're not gonna get into the college program. They wanna see people who are gonna bring that pixie dust to our guests, who are gonna go the extra mile, who are gonna be energetic and happy even when they have to work all these doubles and these crazy hours. Let that magic shine. For me, I remember when I ended my phone interview, I was like, thank you so much, Patty. It's been a dream of mine to do the college program since I was 12 years old. So I really hope that you'll consider me for such an incredible opportunity. And like, that's how I ended my phone interview. I wanted my recruiter to know how important it was to me, and that like this meant the absolute world to me. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. I know you're gonna be really nervous and like you are gonna prepare answers ahead of time. So, but when you're saying your answers, even if you did prepare, don't read them like a script, you know? Don't be like, I think that I should work for Disney because I just love making magic. You know, like sound genuine, sound like this is really what you want. Be like, I want to work for Disney because I believe in the magic and I want to bring that to our guests, you know? So just be yourself, breathe. One thing I did, so I applied for the college program a year, well no, it's been almost 2 years ago, that's crazy. But that was when Wishes was still the fireworks show. And so right before my phone interview, I played the Wishes full album on YouTube, like the full song, and I like cried a little bit and got my mind in the magical mood. So then when my recruiter called, I was ready. I had that Disney magic inside of me, and I think that helped me a lot. It helped me to calm down, relax, and just get my mind focused on Disney. The college program truly is such an incredible experience, and it is something I advocate so hard, and I think everyone should apply for if you have even the slightest of interest in it. And I know it's terrifying to interview, but let me tell you, when I got off the phone with my recruiter, I took the biggest breath. It was the biggest relief. And the hardest part though, y'all, is waiting to hear back. It took me a month to hear back, but nevertheless, it was worth it because I got to live my dream. Hopefully that was helpful. Please be sure to check out my channel, Christian and a Kingdom, which this is my channel, but I have other college program related videos as well. And I also have all my fun adventures in Disney. So if you care about my life at all, they're there too. I know when I was applying for the college program, I watched every vlog known to man because I wanted to be as prepared as possible. So hopefully I can do the same for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like, please subscribe down below. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, or you can add me on my Instagram or Twitter and I will be sure to answer your questions. If you're applying, good luck, or if you're gonna be applying in the future, good luck to you and hopefully you get in. Thank you guys for watching and catch you next time at the Kingdom. Bye!